Hello beautiful people, my name is Chinaza Victory and you're welcome back to Nazzystyles YouTube channel. In today's video, you're going to learn how to cut and sew this beautiful Madame George blouse, also known as an Igbo blouse. Let's get started. These are the fabrics I'm going to be making use of, and this is a George fabric and this other one is a crepe fabric. I'm going to be using it for the main bodice and a bridal satin fabric for the lining. We already learned how to draft the pattern for this blouse in my previous video. The link to the step-by-step drafting process is in the description box. Please do well to watch it before proceeding to watch this cutting and sewing process. I have placed the front bodice pattern on my fabric, and before this placement I already ironed an interfacing on both the lining and the crepe fabric. Okay, and I've placed the two fabrics on fold. One fold is for the lining and the other fold is for the main bodice. And remember, the center front is on the folded part of the fabric, as you can see in the video. And I've gone ahead to add 0.5 inch seam allowance to this part that I'll be joining. Okay, and remember that I already added my seam allowance to other parts of the pattern paper while we were drafting. I've repeated the same process for the back bodice, and I have two fabrics on fold, one fold for the lining and the other fold for the main back bodice. I've also ironed an interfacing on both fabrics. And remember, I already added all the required seam allowances on the pattern paper during drafting. After holding down the pattern paper with my pins, I'll just go ahead and cut it out. This is what the front bodice should look like after cutting. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to place needle notches around the parts that will be joining back. I'll notch the under bust area, the bust point. I'll do that for the center front, and also come over to the side front piece and notch the bust points, the under bust, and also the waist area. This is very important because it's going to serve as a guide when I am sewing. I've also gone ahead to cut out the back bodice. For each of the lining pieces, I'll come over to the hem and reduce it by 1 inch so it will be shorter than the main fabric. The next step is to go ahead and pad the bustier, but that would make this video too long, so I decided to make a separate detailed video on how to pad a princess dart bustier to avoid any form of rush in this video. So there's something I forgot to do on the pattern paper, and I'm going to be doing that right now, and that is making a little curve around the hemline. I don't usually like it straight like so I'll just come up by the side and then curve it a little bit. In order to do that, I placed both the main bodice and the lining together like so, and I arranged it equally at the hemline. Then I came to the side front, I went up by 2 inches. Then from this other side I came in by 3.5 inches, and I used my free hand, or you can use your curve ruler to place a little curve to curve it towards that 3.5 inches, and that is all. Note that this does not affect the center front piece, this is only for the side piece. I repeated the same process for the back piece. I arranged both the lining and the main fabric at the hem. Then I went up by 2 inches at that side, and then came in from this dart leg by 3.5 inches and connected using a curve. Then I'll go ahead and cut off this other part. Okay. After ironing the wording to the front pieces, the next thing is to go ahead and join them together. So I'm going to be picking one of the side fronts and one part of the center front like so. Then I will take it to my sewing machine and start sewing from the hem. I'll start sewing from the down part like so. Then I'll sew it carefully. As you can see in the video, I already marked out my seam allowance because I don't like to take chances whenever I'm making a bustier. And for this other side, I'll repeat the same process. I'll pick the side front and the other part of the center front and start sewing from the hem till I get to the end. So this is what it should look like after joining. Okay, it's looking beautiful already, isn't it? I've also repeated the same process for the main bodice. The difference is that I padded only the lining and I didn't pad the main bodice. Okay, so after joining, you go ahead and give it a very nice press. You must have notched every curved part and give it a very nice press. I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the main fabric. Remember, I mentioned earlier that I did not pad the main fabric, which is what you're seeing on the screen. I'll just notch it round and give it a nice press as well. For the back bodice, I used my pen to trace out the dots on all the back bodice pieces. I did that for both the lining and the main fabric. This is what it should look like after tracing out the dart on all the back pieces. And remember that I reduced the length of the lining piece by 1 inch, just the same thing I did on the front lining piece. The front bodice should look like this. After, you must have pressed the seam allowances open and giving the bustier a very good press. This is what it should look like. And remember, this is the lining and not the main fabric. At this point, let me show you how to sew the dart for the back pieces. You're going to be pinching these parts. Just watch carefully. Look at the way I pinched it with my finger. Then I'm going to hold it down with a pin. After that, I'll follow the shape on one side of the dart and sew it. Just watch the video carefully to see how I'm going to sew it. I'll start sewing from the tip of the dart and I will sew following the shape of the dart till I get to the end of the dart, and that is that. I'll repeat the same process for the remaining 3 back pieces. It is time for the placement of the George fabric on the main bodice. So first of all, I placed my half mannequin on my table and I wore it a bra. Okay, as you can see in the video. Then I stuck in some pieces of fabric around the bust area to uplift the bust area to give it the bust shape. Remember, I did not pad the main bodice, and that is what you're seeing on the screen. The next step is to come in with my George fabric and place it on top of it like so. Then I'm going to take my time to arrange the design in a way that it will be centralized on this front part of the blouse. Okay, I'm going to arrange it carefully. There is no rush in doing this. I will take my time to arrange it very well in a way that I want it to appear. Then I'm going to be making use of a lot of pins. You will require a lot of pins for this. Anywhere you arrange, you use your pin and hold it down at that point. This is what you're going to do until you get what you're looking for. sometimes, to help the under bust area to relax well, you're going to be creating a little bust that's around the side like so. You're going to be folding in this part like so in form of a dart. Okay, you can either cut it out carefully if you can do that in a careful way, or you just hold it with your pin first, and then when it is time to tack down, you use your needle and your thread to tack it down. After arranging the George fabric to my satisfaction, and after I must have pinned down all the parts and corners, the next thing I will do is to use my scissors and cut out the excess fabric round the main bodice. I'll just carefully cut out the excess fabric using my scissors. So this is what it should look like. The next thing I will do now is to come in with my hand needle and thread to start tacking it down. Okay, the type of thread I'm going to use is called an invisible thread. It is not the normal thread we use in sewing. This one is different. It looks like a fishing line, but kind of tinier than a fishing line. And the best needle to use for fabric placement is a curved needle, but unfortunately I do not have a curved needle, so I'm going to be making use of a normal hand needle. I'll start tacking from the upper side, then I'll move to the under bust area, then I'll go ahead and tack the rest of the front bodice. After tacking down all the necessary parts, the next thing I'm going to do now is to take this to my sewing machine and top stitch the tip of this bodice. I'm going to be top stitching this tip round the front bodice. After sewing all the darts on the back bodice, on all the pieces of the back bodice, this is what it should look like. The next thing I'm going to do now is to laminate the George fabric on the main back bodice, okay, which is this. And to do this, I'm going to open up the remaining George fabric and arrange it on my table like so, with the right side of the George fabric touching the table and the wrong side facing up. I'll come in with the back bodice piece and place the right side on the wrong side of the George fabric. Okay, then I will arrange it properly, pin it down. There are 3 ways to do this. You can either take it to your sewing machine and top stitch around it to join the 2 fabrics together, or you use your hemming gum to gum it, or a fabric gum. And the last one is to also use your hand needle to tack it. The choice is yours. Whichever one you decide to do is fine. For me, I'll quickly use my hemming gum to laminate the 2 fabrics together. See how beautiful the front bodice looks already. So I'll come in with the lining piece, the front lining, and I'll place it right side facing the main front bodice like so. Then I'm going to be arranging it very well around the neckline. You can pin it down if possible. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew 0.5 inch to turn the neckline. I'll also bring in the 2 back lining pieces and place it on the corresponding main back bodice. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and also turn the neckline using 0.5 inch. I will do this for each of the back pieces like so. After sewing the neckline, the next thing is to notch around the neckline. This will help it to relax very well after ironing. In order to hide the rough edges around the sides and the hem, I'll take this to my sewing machine right now and close up the side using 0.25 inch, that's a quarter of an inch. Then for the hem, I'm going to be sewing 1 inch because that was the hem allowance I gave at the beginning. Then I'll also close up the other part, the other side as well. I'll also repeat the same process for the back bodice. I'm going to do this for all the pieces of the back bodice. I'll notch the neckline and also close up the zipper allowance side and the side using 0.25 inch, that's quarter of an inch. And for the hem, I'm going to be closing it up using 1 inch, just like I did for the front bodice. So now I'm going to put my hand through the armhole area. I'll put my hand inside like so and turn this front bodice inside out, and I'm going to be repeating the same process for the back bodice as well. I'll turn it inside out and then take it to my ironing table and give it a very nice press. So this is what the back bodice should look like after turning it inside out and giving it a very nice press. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to mark out the zipper allowance. I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew it down using a temporary stitch and then press it open. So now I'm going to rip off the temporary stitch that I just made, and then I'll go ahead and fix my zipper to the center back. For the front bodice, this is what it should look like after turning it inside out and then giving it a very nice press. Remember, the bust area shouldn't be flat when you're pressing or when you're ironing. Okay, now I'm going to use the body measurements I am working with to mark out the body shape on the front bodice, and after that I'm going to be repeating the same process on the back bodice. The next step is to place the back bodice and the front bodice right side facing each other. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and shape the blouse. I'll sew the line. I'll sew on the line I just marked. Okay, that's the line I marked using the body measurement I am working with. But before I proceed, I'll go and sew the shoulder area first. Now to sew the shoulder area, you're going to be placing it right side facing each other, fabric to fabric and the lining to lining, like so. You can pin it down if possible. Then you take it to your sewing machine and sew using 0.5 inch allowance. You do the same thing for the other part of the shoulder. The shoulder should look like this after sewing, and remember to press the shoulder seam allowance open like so. The final thing to do now is to go ahead and fix any sleeve of your choice. If you want a tutorial on how I made this sleeve you're seeing in the video, please indicate in the comment section, because I have a detailed video on how to cut and sew this sleeve. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell to get notified each time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.